In the heart of Renton, Washington, a suburb approximately 32 minutes from the bustling city of Seattle, lived Ingrid Reville, a single mother of 3 young daughters. Born on August 2, 1975, Ingrid's life was a blend of dedication both to her career and her family. She worked tirelessly as a nurse at the Swedish Medical Center in Seattle, a profession that speaks volumes of her compassion and commitment to helping others. Despite recently enduring the emotional turmoil of a divorce from Phil Line, the father of her children, Ingrid remained a pillar of strength and love for her daughters. The couple had arranged for shared custody, ensuring that both parents remained integral parts of their daughters' lives. Ingrid's persona was a unique amalgamation of physical delicacy and a vibrant, commanding presence. Her diminutive stature was in stark contrast to her formidable personality, a testament to her spirited approach to life. Above all, her unwavering love for her daughters was evident in every sacrifice she made, affirming her readiness to go to the ends of the earth for their happiness and well-being. The narrative takes a mysterious turn on April 8, 2016, when Ingrid decided to step into the world of online dating, a decision that led her to cross paths with a man whose identity would later unfold in unforeseen ways. The pair chose to spend their evening at the Seattle Mariners opening game, a choice that blended the excitement of new beginnings with America's favorite pastime. The evening did not conclude with the game. The duo proceeded to a bar, seeking to prolong their connection. This bar held a personal connection to her date, as his sister was an employee there, adding a layer of intimacy to their outing. However, the light of the following day, April 9th, cast a shadow over the previous night's events. Phil Line, Ingrid's ex-husband, arrived at her residence with the intention of dropping off their daughters, only to be greeted by silence. The absence of Ingrid's 2015 silver Toyota Highlander from its usual spot was the first sign that something was amiss. The house, usually bustling with life, stood eerily silent, with no response to his knocks and repeated calls going unanswered. Alarmed, Phil reached out to Ingrid's mother, who possessed a spare key to the house. The discovery she made upon entering the house was chilling. Ingrid's belongings, including her computer, purse, wallet, and phone, were all present, yet there was no sign of Ingrid herself nor of her vehicle. This prompted an immediate call to the police, marking the beginning of a desperate search for Ingrid. In a bid to uncover any clues that could lead to her daughter, Ingrid's mother remembered that they shared a Verizon account. This connection enabled her to access Ingrid's phone records, leading her to perform a Facebook search using the most recent phone number. The search pointed to a profile belonging to John Charlton, the man Ingrid had met the previous night. In a move driven by a mixture of hope and desperation, Ingrid's mother sent a text to John, inquiring about her daughter and revealing that she had contacted the authorities. John's response was to acknowledge the date, but to also distance himself from the events that followed, stating that he hadn't spent the night with Ingrid. As the community grappled with Ingrid's sudden disappearance, a chilling discovery was made by Mike Novasio, a resident living approximately 10 miles from Ingrid. The mundane act of taking out his recycling bin turned into a scene from a nightmare when he noticed what appeared to be human body parts encased in white trash bags. This horrifying find prompted an immediate call to the police, adding a gruesome chapter to the unfolding mystery of Ingrid's disappearance. The ensuing investigation would unravel a web of digital footprints, community efforts, and the relentless pursuit of truth by Ingrid's loved ones. As the search for Ingrid intensified, the pieces of the puzzle began to coalesce, painting a picture that no one was prepared for. The story of Ingrid Reville is a poignant reminder of the complexities of human connections, the vulnerabilities inherent in the search for companionship, and the indomitable spirit of a mother's love that refuses to be extinguished, even in the face of the darkest mysteries. In a poignant moment of raw emotion, Mike shared his harrowing experience on a true crime podcast episode. His voice trembled as he recounted the gruesome discovery he made. The sight of a human head, its toenails meticulously painted, confronted him as he took out his recycling. The horror of the scene was compounded by the meticulous care with which the body parts had been wrapped and placed in the trash bags, indicating a chilling level of precision and forethought. Overwhelmed by the grisly discovery, Mike admitted to feeling physically ill, a reaction that the profound impact such a grim sight can have on a person. The immediacy of the situation was underscored by the swift arrival of the police and the medical examiner to the scene. Upon opening the trash bags, they were confronted with a head, a segment of a leg, and an arm. Remarkably, there was no sign of decomposition, which allowed the authorities to quickly identify the remains as belonging to Ingrid Reville. This identification marked a tragic end to the mystery of Ingrid's disappearance, but also opened a new chapter of investigation into her untimely death. The investigative spotlight initially fell on Phil, Ingrid's ex-husband, given his close connection to her. However, he was swiftly ruled out as a suspect, shifting the focus of the investigation. Attention then turned to John Charlton, the last known person to have seen Ingrid alive. His online dating profile, which candidly stated his lack of interest in anything serious, painted him as an unremarkable individual seeking casual connections. Yet, the police's interaction with him would reveal a more complex character. During his interview with the police, Charlton admitted to being homeless, a revelation that seemed to annoy him, perhaps feeling judged or misunderstood. His recollection of the events leading up to Ingrid's disappearance was fragmented and laced with ambiguity. He described their night together in vague terms, hinting at intimacy but clouded by his claim of having blacked out. His assertion that he woke up on a sidewalk, disoriented and detached from the previous night's events, added a layer of perplexity to his account. Charlton's communication with Ingrid the morning after their date suggested a casual attempt to reconnect, yet his acknowledgement of not staying over at her place, ostensibly due to her reluctance to introduce him to her children because of his homelessness, painted a picture of a man grappling with societal judgments and personal shortcomings. His self-admission of not being a normal person and the revelation of his sporadic stays at his ex-girlfriend's place, despite their complicated relationship, further complicated the image of Charlton. When the conversation with the police reached a point of discomfort, Charlton sought the refuge of legal counsel, a move that momentarily paused the direct line of questioning. Yet, the surveillance in the room captured a moment of vulnerability as he prepared to rest, using his sweatshirt as a makeshift pillow, a poignant reminder of his precarious living situation. The investigation deepened with a search warrant for Ingrid's home. Inside, detectives found an almost depleted box of garbage bags, eerily similar to those discovered in the recycling bin. This connection between the bags found at the crime scene and those in Ingrid's home hinted at a meticulously planned act, drawing a direct line from the domestic sphere of Ingrid's life to the chilling disposal of her remains. The unfolding investigation into Ingrid's murder weaves a complex tapestry of online encounters, fleeting connections, and the stark realities of human vulnerability. As the authorities pieced together the events leading to Ingrid's tragic demise, the narrative evolved beyond the initial shock of her disappearance to reveal the deeply human stories of those entangled in this tragic event. This case underscores the unpredictable dangers of online dating, the societal challenges faced by the homeless, and the profound impact of crime on communities and individuals alike. In the quiet aftermath of Ingrid Reville's disappearance, the investigation into her tragic death uncovered chilling evidence within the very walls of her home. Among the most harrowing discoveries was a pruning saw, casually propped up in the bathroom as if it were an everyday tool. However, the reality was far more sinister. The saw's teeth were not just coated with the remnants of a garden's overgrowth, but with the unmistakable traces of human blood, tissue, and bone. This macabre find was complemented by the presence of blood in the bathtub drain, suggesting a scene of horror that had unfolded within the supposed sanctuary of Ingrid's bathroom. The narrative took a grimmer turn on April 15, 2016, when more of Ingrid's remains were discovered, this time in a recycling receptacle. The discovery was prompted by a phone call Michael Mullen received from his neighbor, leading to the horrifying find of a torso, distinguishable by a pierced belly button, a feature Ingrid was known to have. This grim piece of the puzzle further confirmed the identity of the remains as belonging to Ingrid. Only days later, the investigation's scope widened as a human leg was found at a Seattle recycling plant, adding another layer of tragedy to the unfolding case. The meticulous search within Ingrid's home revealed even more damning evidence. The plumbing was removed, and within the now dismantled drain trap, investigators found additional blood, a testament to the thoroughness of their search and the extent of the crime. In an effort to uncover traces of the crime that might have been meticulously cleaned away, investigators employed a reagent known as Blue Star. This substance, known for its ability to reveal blood traces invisible to the naked eye, indicated that someone had attempted to erase the evidence of the crime scene within Ingrid's home. Initially, the medical examiner's investigation into Ingrid's death pointed to homicidal violence. However, a more detailed examination revealed subtle, yet telling signs of the true nature of her demise. Petechiae in Ingrid's eyes and hemorrhaging on her neck painted a grim picture of strangulation, followed by the dismemberment of her body within the confines of her own home. Furthermore, the toxicology report added another layer of detail to the night of the crime, showing Ingrid's blood alcohol content was 0.074, indicating she had been drinking but was not significantly impaired. In a development that seemed to provide a breakthrough in the case, Ingrid's car was found in Belltown, a mere 6 minutes drive from Seattle. Inside, under the handle of the driver's door, investigators lifted 3 fingerprints that would lead them straight to a suspect, John Charlton. These fingerprints matched Charlton's, and inside the car were found trash bags similar to those used to dispose of Ingrid's body parts. The investigation then led to John's ex-girlfriend, who provided insights into John's activities following his date with Ingrid. She recounted that John was supposed to visit her the morning after his date but arrived later than expected, using an unplanned event as his excuse. Notably, John had a fat lip, which he attributed to an attempted robbery at the bar. Upon questioning by the police, John Charlton bore physical signs of a recent altercation, including an abrasion on his head and chin, along with scratches on his chest and arms. These injuries, combined with the evidence gathered, culminated in Charlton's arrest and charge for the murder of Ingrid Reville. John Charlton was not a stranger to the criminal justice system. His history spanned across 6 states, marked by charges ranging from grand theft to assault and attempted robbery. Notably, even his own parents had once sought legal protection against him through a restraining order, though it was later dropped. This pattern of behavior and interaction with the law painted a troubling picture of Charlton's past, offering a glimpse into the complexities and challenges that characterized his life. As the case against John Charlton unfolded, it revealed not just the tragic end of Ingrid Reville but also cast a spotlight on the darker aspects of human nature and the profound impacts of crime on communities, families, and individuals. The investigation into Ingrid's murder, marked by meticulous police work and forensic analysis, underscored the relentless pursuit of justice in the face of tragedy. As the investigation into Ingrid Reville's murder unfolded, the disturbing history of John Charlton began to emerge, painting a picture of a man with a troubled past and violent tendencies. Several of John's ex-partners came forward with harrowing accounts of their experiences with him, shedding light on the pattern of behavior that culminated in Ingrid's tragic death. One ex-girlfriend recounted a chilling incident where John had choked her during an intimate moment, applying pressure to her neck until she struggled for breath. This account of asphyxiation during a moment that should have been characterized by trust and mutual respect underscored the dangerous undercurrents of John's personality. Another former partner shared a dark confession John had made to her. He claimed to have killed someone in Florida. This revelation, though unverified by the Seattle police, added a sinister dimension to John's character, suggesting a history of violence that extended beyond the confines of his relationship with Ingrid. Friends from John's past also came forward, describing him as a loner who became markedly different under the influence of alcohol and drugs. These substances, according to John's own admission to the police, were a problem for him, potentially exacerbating his violent tendencies. A friend highlighted this transformation, noting how substance abuse seemed to unlock a more dangerous version of John, one capable of horrific acts. The evidence collected from Ingrid's home stood in stark contrast to John's claim of having blacked out on the night of her murder. The meticulous cleanup of the crime scene, the dismemberment of Ingrid's body, and the calculated disposal of her remains suggested a level of consciousness and intent that belied his defense of memory loss. The police were left to ponder the motive behind John's actions, particularly his decision to leave parts of Ingrid's body in recycling bins, a choice seen as either a macabre bid for attention or a twisted desire to be apprehended. In a turn of events that surprised many, John Charlton chose to plead guilty before his trial could commence. On October 2, 2017, he admitted to the first-degree murder of Ingrid Reville and the theft of her motor vehicle. His sentencing on January 5, 2018, to 27 years and 9 months in prison sparked outrage among those who felt that the punishment did not adequately reflect the gravity of his crimes, especially given the possibility of his release in his 60s. Compounding this sense of injustice was the fact that the motive for Ingrid's murder remained a mystery, and not all of her remains had been recovered. The emotional impact of Ingrid's murder was palpable during John's sentencing, where Nancy, a friend of Ingrid's, confronted him with a powerful statement that encapsulated the brutality of his actions and the profound loss felt by those who knew Ingrid. Nancy's words painted a vivid picture of a life violently extinguished, of a vibrant spirit quelled, and of a heinous act that left a family and community in mourning. Reflecting on John Charlton's past and his actions, it becomes evident that he was a deeply troubled individual, marked by a history of substance abuse, violence, and a disturbing disregard for human life. His criminal record, spanning multiple states, hinted at a propensity for violence that ultimately found its most tragic expression in the murder of Ingrid Reville. Ingrid's decision to venture into dating again, a step towards finding happiness and companionship, tragically led her to cross paths with John, a man whose deceit and violence shattered her family's world. The heartbreak of Ingrid's family, especially her young daughters, is immeasurable. The hope remains that they are enveloped in love and care by their father and the broader community, as they navigate a world forever altered by the loss of their mother. Ingrid's story is a poignant reminder of the hidden dangers that can lurk behind the facade of normalcy and the devastating impact of violence on families and communities.